We're doing meal one at the moment. So meal one is supposed to be oatmeal, um, oatmeal, blueberries, banana, protein powder, bit of peanut butter. But I don't have enough oats, so I'm gonna have to buy oats after the gym later, and then have my oats later in the day. Which, to be honest with you, is a treat for me anyway. It's probably one of my favorite meals in general. So keeping it later in the day is almost like a dessert. It's more enjoyable for me like that anyway. The only reason today's not ideal for that is because it's leg day today, and I like to get some more dense calories and some more fats in before I train, as opposed to just um, the meals that I'm going to show you pre-training. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Like I say, I'm not prepping, so it's not. Yeah, it's not so detrimental to things that it's gonna affect my training session. I've got enough excess calories, let's say, in my system to accommodate today's session. On prep, it's obviously a lot different. You're running on empty a lot, so you don't really have any spare energy, any excess calories that can kind of push you through that session and make you feel the same. I can probably train fasted today if I felt like it and still have a very productive session, and then obviously get my calories in after. But yeah, so I'm not that fussed about it. And like I say, it's silver lining. It's a treat for me later because it's one of my favorite meals anyway. So meal number one today is going to be rice and chicken. So the reason it's cooked, is pre-cooked, is for it's easier. It's easier. It's for convenience. Yeah. Why when I say we, Opio and I, my coach, we work out everything raw weight. Everything is raw weight. But what I do, for the sake of, because I travel a lot, um, so I need to pre-pack a lot of food, and I'm not always in a position where I'm staying overnight or I have an Airbnb or something. I try to as often as possible, but I can't always get an Airbnb or always get cooking facilities when I'm traveling. So I need to work out how much the equivalent cooked weight is in a specific form of method of cooking. So what I mean by that is cooking my rice in the rice cooker. I break it out even by brand. So I'll either do Tilda basmati rice, which is the big blue bag, if you guys eat, frequent Tilda, or if I get like a store bought brand. So this in particular is just Sainsbury's own big bag of Sainsbury's own raw rice. Now, the reason I did that was because they didn't have any Tilda and I needed rice. So, again, because I'm in off season now, I'm not prepping, I don't sweat the small stuff like that. I'll just get whatever's available. In prep, I would have scoured different shops to make sure that consistency was there for every item that I eat, so that in like all the way through my prep, everything's the same. I don't even really swap my proteins out, and the chicken breast is the chicken breast, but not always. Some supermarkets do different things with your chicken breast. I don't buy meat from the butchers, so that's out of it for me. But supermarkets, they do different things with their chicken breasts. Some of them pump them full of water and then you cook them and they shrivel all the way down. And I think that affects what you get from raw to cooked weight, obviously, because they're treated differently raw. So little things like that, I try to keep as consistent as possible. In the off season, I'm not as finicky about it. I at the end of the day, I'm doing a lot of meals in one day. I don't really have time to to split hairs in that way when I don't have to. Again, I'm in a surplus of calories, so I've got a lot more to draw from, as opposed to in prep. Yeah, you're fighting for your life, so you don't really want to go and get a heavily water filled chicken breast that says it's 100 grams raw, when in actual fact by the time you cook it down it ends up being a lighter weight by the time you've cooked it. So little things like that are very, very important, so I keep those things consistent throughout prep. um anyway, oven baked chicken, specifically oven cooked chicken, cooked in this exact way. And the reason that is really important to keep in mind, because if you air fry it, I've got an air fryer behind the camera. If I air fry it, it loses more fluid than if I bake it in the oven. If I grill it, it loses more liquid. If I pan fry it, it loses more liquid. If I pan fry it on a high heat versus pan frying it on a low heat, those two weights will be different by the time it's cooked through. Everything is so different, which is why I think it's great that OPO insists on raw weight, but it's also great that I am very, very robotic. And once I've figured out the conversion rate and I know it's consistent because I've done it for a very long time now, I'm 10 years training, I've competed for 3 seasons, and I've done this since 2019, halfway through 2019. I've stuck to this since, even in the off season. I will not, if I air fry or pan fry my chicken because I feel like I want something different, I will not, I will weigh it raw first. I will make sure I cut off exactly what I need in the moment, then pan fry it. I won't bulk prep that. But whenever I'm bulk prepping, I will always oven cook it. So just a bit of insight into, if you want to make your life easy, that's fine. But there's still a level of discipline. There's still a level of consistency that you need to trust the food and the amounts more than anything. It's not so much the quality of the food, but the amounts that you're putting in. So you know how many calories, what your macros are, all that kind of stuff. Make sure if you go to the supermarket and you buy pre-cooked chicken in a packet because you're stuck, again, make sure you read the back of the package. Don't just take it out of the pack and say, well, 100 grams is 100 grams. You don't know how they've cooked that. You don't know what preservatives are in that. You know nothing about that. You don't know the journey from raw to cooked. You have no idea. So make sure you're as consistent as possible. I've got my scale, obviously. I've got my Tupperware pot. I eat out of Tupperware year round, all the time. Unless I'm having a cheat meal, obviously, then I'll eat in whatever. Oh, almost perfect. 217. I'll eat in obviously whatever that comes in, or I might plate it up. 6 out of 7 days, I eat clean. Then for one cheat meal twice a week, sometimes including dessert, most of the time not including dessert, I will have a cheat meal or off-plan meal. So I eat out of Tupperware 90% of the time. Easily 90% of the time as well, and potentially more. I don't care about eating fresh rice, and I'm not saying this to be hardcore. I don't care about eating the freshest of rice all the time. I don't care about eating the freshest of meat all the time. I don't care about having the best cuts of meat. I don't care about having the highest quality, in terms of like taste and texture and all this stuff. I don't care about that much all the time. I season my food, which we'll get to in a minute. I might try and move the camera actually, so you can kind of see a bit better of what I'm doing. But I season my food, I make sure it tastes nice to me, and I'm good from there. So if I have fresh rice, like I'm running low on rice now, so after today, I'm gonna have to cook another batch. I'll either cook it tonight for tomorrow, or I'll cook it tomorrow and have it fresh tomorrow. Chances are I'll cook it fresh tomorrow and have it fresh tomorrow, because it's more enjoyable when I'm working from home anyway. I'm home, so I'll do that. But I don't care that much. I've just never cared that much. For me, I'll eat. I eat whatever. And again, I'm not saying that to be hardcore. If you like enjoying your food and you like every meal to be perfect, especially in the off season, and you want to take the time to make sure that things are exactly as you want them, that doesn't make you a better or worse bodybuilder. Do what you want. Being comfortable doesn't being uncomfortable doesn't make you a better bodybuilder. Being okay with being uncomfortable makes you a better bodybuilder. But having old rice and old chicken doesn't make you a better bodybuilder. It just doesn't. I just don't care. So, but the reason that this mentality is good for bodybuilding is that you'll never, I'm not going to suffer through a meal. I will always eat a meal and just be like, yeah, it's chicken and rice. I don't care. But if you're somebody who's so used to having it perfect every time, the times that you can't have it perfectly, it's going to annoy you, stress you out, frustrate you, whatever. You're going to get upset about it, especially in prep when everything makes you emotional. I just think practicing not having such a connection to your food, and I think it's good. But like I said, it's not going to make you a worse bodybuilder because you like to be comfortable. That's in my opinion. I don't think so. Like I said, I just don't care. I just don't care. I've just chopped or diced the chicken over my rice. The rice is not seasoned, like I said earlier. I don't add salt. I don't add any of that. So I season everything now, ready to be heated. We are going to add garlic granules, pink Himalayan sea salt, and Worcester sauce. So I don't do the Worcester sauce in prep for obvious reasons because it has calories, and I try and stay away from as many added calories and sauces and stuff as possible in prep. In the off season, I don't care as much, and I kind of factor it into my day as extra. So I add them because it makes things taste nice. So I've added the Worcester sauce, I've added the garlic granules, and then I'm just gonna add my salt. I don't count sodium. I don't count my sodium. I don't track my sodium. I'll be honest with you. Opio and I don't really track my sodium throughout prep. Not specifically. Like he's never given me any sort of instruction on only do this many this many twists of salt in your meals or anything like that. We just don't really do that. So yeah, so this is my chicken and rice. I'm going to put in the microwave to be heated, and then I'm going to add some sauce. Let me get the sauce now and show you. So I add reduced sugar, sweet chili sauce on my chicken and rice specifically. But yeah, so that's my chicken and rice. It doesn't look anything special because it isn't. It's boring like anything else, but it's slightly seasoned. It's very flavorful, and I enjoy it. It's something that I could probably eat 3 or 4 times a day, every single day if I had to, and I wouldn't get sick of it. I got my chicken and rice. I forgot to get my drink, so I'm going to get. I've got a bottle of water upstairs actually, so I'm gonna go grab that. So yeah, I got my chicken and rice. I have my sweet chili sauce, reduced sugar, specifically reduced sugar. If you haven't tried this and you're like, oh, reduced sugar, blah blah blah, it tastes great. I think one thing that bodybuilders will understand, what I'm gonna say, general population, non-competitors won't necessarily understand. So let's talk about fizzy drinks. Zero Fanta, Pepsi Max, Coke Zero. I hate Coke. I think it's awful. I can't stand Coke Zero personally, so I'm not even going to talk about that actually. Pepsi Max, I love, and all their iterations. So Pepsi Max Cherry, Pepsi Max Strawberry and Cream, Pepsi Max. There was a gingerbread one over Christmas that tasted awful. It was horrendous. But other than that, they typically hit. My point is, and then obviously you've got your sauces like the reduced. My point is, the bodybuilders will know. Prep in particular, when you start taking simple sugars out and refined sugars and those sorts of things, you become sensitive anyway to flavor. So fresh out of prep, everything tastes like the best meal you've ever had. So transitioning to reduced sugar is a reduced sugar alternative is a lot easier in that situation. Now the key, in my opinion, is stick to that, continue to do that. If you continue to do that, you won't taste the difference. If you reintroduce sugar because you're like, I'm off prep now, so I can do it, when you then try to go back to these sorts of things because you're on a diet or a mini cut or whatever, it's going to taste awful. Like, you're just not, they don't compare. If you gave me this plus the full sugar one side by side, yeah, they're not going to, this isn't going to taste as good. But I haven't tried the full sugar one ever. So I don't know. All I know is I saw this reduced sugar. I like sweet chili. I like sweet and savory. That's like my favorite flavor combination for my meals. So yeah, I tried it and I think it's delicious. Why would I try full sugar if I don't have to? I don't. So with drinks, it's the same thing. My wife is fit herself. She lives a very healthy lifestyle. She's in shape, all that stuff. So it's easy to run a household where we don't have a bunch of sugary snacks and drinks in the house. So fizzy drinks, for example, like I say, the Pepsi Maxes, the Fanta Zero, Sprite Zero, Seven Up Zero, whatever, all those sorts of things, they've been a staple in our household for easily 6, 7 years, at least. In my opinion, longer, but at least 6 or 7 years. They've been a staple in our household. We never buy full sugar drinks. Never buy regular Coke. We never buy regular Pepsi. Never. And if we're ordering a cheat meal, we only buy zero alternative. We only order zero alternative drinks, and everyone will have something. So yeah, I would say that's a big thing that needs to be considered. Try and stick to that. Try and stick to that, because sugar is not your friend in that respect. In that regard, in that specific regard, what I'm talking about as a additive to a healthy meal, sugar's not your friend. Sugar's not your friend. There are sugars that are imperative to your development. There are sugars that are imperative to your health in a positive way. Sugar is not a problem as a whole, but in this specific scenario, when again, additives to supplement a healthy meal, sugar's not your friend. Don't add it where it's not needed. So yeah, I'm gonna eat this meal anyway, because this is why I don't do these videos very often, because they take fucking ages. I'm gonna eat this meal, and then you guys won't see me probably until the next meal. Then I'll show you my pre-workout meal. Then we'll go to train, and then I may show you my post workout meal depending on the time of day, and what I'm doing in the evening post workout, because that's my time with my daughter and family. So I don't tend to record in the evening. So apologies ahead of time. But I will show you as much as I can pre training, and then I will make sure I make time at the end to explain my entire day's diet, so that you guys have good insight into what I'm doing. So pre-workout now. I've got cream of rice, a scoop and a half of cream of rice, and then I put my scoop of protein powder directly in there. Put some hot, not boiling water in there. Mix it up until it's the consistency I want, which is typically like cake batter ish, quite thick, smooth but thick. And then I'm supposed to, what's programmed in is 50 grams of blueberries. But I also have blueberries with my oats every day. Not every day, every training day at the moment. But as soon as I can put my calories up, it's going to be every day because I love oats. I have 75 grams of blueberries with my oats later. So I've swapped out the 50 grams of blueberries in my pre workout and put something else in there. I'm not going to say what it is, because I found that it makes a massive difference positively to my pumps in the gym, and it's less volume of food. So I know it isn't a placebo effect. I know it isn't because it's like, oh, you're getting more volume, so it makes you feel like you're stronger or bigger or fuller. It's significantly less, but it's a denser uh, food, is what I'll say. If you guys want to know what it is, I'm gonna need 100 likes on this video. Otherwise, I'm keeping it to myself. And no, it's not clickbait like, oh, it's salt or oh, it's cinnamon. There's nothing stupid like that. It is something that is not common. I find that it isn't common amongst bodybuilders. I like it a lot. People who know me day in and day out in the gym, maybe I've mentioned it, so you guys might know, but people who don't know me won't know. So yeah. Also, I'm not going to tell you where I get my protein and stuff from because I'm not sponsored and no free advertising. Um, so yeah, cream of rice, protein, and then my intra workout. So if you guys don't know, I don't take pre-workout. I've never taken pre-workout. I don't take any sort of stimulants or anything like that to help me train. Um, Obviously, my intra workout is made up of EAAs, L-glutamine, creatine monohydrate, and then something else that I also add in there, which again, I'm not going to discuss. What's important now, we're shifting away from diet into more training performance now, but what's important now is that while I'm eating this meal, I'm getting myself in the mindset of, right, you're going to go and work now. You're going to go to the gym, you're going to go and kill it in this specific situation, kill a leg session. So it's not just scoffing this down, strolling to the gym, and then figuring out when I get there. As I sit down to eat this meal, I'm going to be visualizing the movements, visualizing the exercises I choose to do. I'm going to be in my zone from the minute I basically finish this meal, the drive to the gym, walk through those gym doors, say hello to as few people as possible, stay in that zone, and then truly lock in, ready to work as I've warmed up, as I've stretched, as I've done what I need to do in that regard. So yeah, it's more than just prepping some food. Oh yeah, it's meal prep. For me, everything has a place. Everything has a reason for being there. So I like to visualize that when I'm eating, when I'm prepping my food, when I'm doing all this sorts of thing. I like to think about, well, why am I having this? Because otherwise, in my opinion anyway, it becomes a hassle. You sit around and you're like, right, I've got to do more rice. I've got to eat more rice. I've got to eat more chicken. I've got to do this, do that. For me, when I'm eating the stuff I'm eating and doing the things I'm doing, they all have a very clear purpose as to why. Um, and I can feel and see that in my performances in the gym. I can see it in my physique when I do my check-ins in the morning, when I do my post-workout posing, whatever. I can see all of this, what's done in the kitchen. I can see it in the gym and obviously in my physique. I think a lot of people, yeah, it's, oh, I need to train hard. I need to go to the gym. I need to do this. I need to do that. It's like, well, to be honest, and I'm not the first person to say it, but abs are made in the kitchen. I think it's more than that. It's broader than that. I think if you are a bodybuilder and you want to be a successful bodybuilder, if you are getting ready for a wedding, if you are getting ready for the beach, if you are just dieting down so that you can look good for a photo shoot, or you want to fit into a specific item of clothing, or you want to bulk up and, you know, fill out a little bit for whatever reason, no matter what it is, the foundation of that before anything else is your diet. You can train as hard as you like. If I am eating 500 calories a day, I will not grow. I just won't. It doesn't matter how hard you train, how strong you are, you will not grow. You don't have the fuel to do it. So everything that happens in the kitchen is incredibly important. It's crucial to your development. So make sure you don't have to be as high strung as I am, and visualize your session probably realistically 45 minutes to an hour before I actually start working out. You don't have to be like that. But I think if you are serious about bodybuilding or competitive sport in general, as an athlete, you're going to be fueled by food. And I think it's important that you understand the importance of why you're doing what you're doing in terms of eating. And it helps to keep you motivated. And you never see prepping the food as a chore. That's just for me. That's just how it works for me. And I think it'll work for you as well. But yeah, so I'm going to take this down. I need to add my secret ingredient in there. And then yeah, we'll get a few clips training. I think I won't do anything full length, but I'll get a few clips training, and then I'll speak to you guys after.
On prep, we will be on like next to nothing.
Come on. Come on. Ooh. All right, so just finished training legs. Good session, very good session, fueled by obviously the nutrition that you've seen up until this point. I felt really strong today, felt really good today, good pump, vascular in the legs. Long story short, I've come home, rushed home to see my daughter and my wife before my daughter goes to bed. So post workout meal is a shake with some dextrose. The meal after that, which I haven't had yet, will be white potato and chicken. The meal after that will be a protein shake. And then the meal after that will be my oats because I didn't have them this morning. So that will be oatmeal, a banana, blueberries, a scoop of protein. Now, just so I'm not up until 1 o'clock in the morning trying to finish all that food, I might just up my protein for my post-workout meal, meaning my white potato meal. I might just up my protein for that. So whatever my protein was supposed to be for the protein shake, I'll just add into that just to make it more convenient for me. Again, on prep, I would never do those sorts of things. I would just stay up late and just make sure I ate. I just stay up playing PlayStation or just being productive in another form or fashion, just doing something, just waiting for my next meal. But right now, it's not. Yeah, I don't need to do that. I just don't need to do that. So where I'm in a sticky situation like now, and I don't want to be up until whatever o'clock at night trying to get meals in simply because of timing, because it's not appetite. It's not like I'm staying up because I need to force the food down. I can definitely stomach what I need to eat. I could probably stomach the rest of my meals in one sitting. So yeah, there's no need for me to sacrifice rest and recovery just for the benefit of that, or for one day. One day is not gonna make a huge difference. So, but yeah, to summarize in a better way, just so it's more insightful. So 7 meals today. Every meal other than my meal before before bed, which would be a shake, it has carbs in it. A fair amount of carbs in it. That's the same whether I'm dieting or whether I'm trying to gain. Carbs are a main focus for the way OPO does things and for the way that I do things as well. So we put carbs first. Carbs, whether you're trying to get ready for a competition or carbs whether you're trying to grow in the off season. Carbs are the focal point of what we do. Protein needs to be where it needs to be, not extra and not too little. It needs to be where it needs to be. So we will figure out, cool, this is how much protein you need within these calories to be able to recover, grow, all these sorts of things. Yeah. And we'll stick with that number the best we can. And as my body weight shifts, we change it accordingly. Carbohydrates, on the other hand, it's fit as much of that as you can in while maintaining the protein that you need, that you absolutely need, that's necessity, and the fats, that absolute necessity. That's the best way and the simplest way that I can describe the approach of how we do things and how OPO has me operate and how I inherently then have operated for the last 10 years. And that's what works. And that's what works for me. That's what works for me. What I will say, and it's important to say this, so what I will say is that doesn't mean everybody has to do this to be successful. There are people who drive protein higher. There are people who drive fats higher and carbs lower. There are for me, I think the best way to do something is the way that's sustainable for the person and elicits the best results on a consistent basis. If you're diabetic, you can't drive carbs as heavily. You're going to have a more balanced diet as far as carbs to fats to protein is concerned. So me saying that this is the only way or this is the way you have to do things, that would be disingenuous. That's not true. If you've got very specific needs as to why you can't train, why you can't eat like this, that doesn't mean you can't be a bodybuilder. It also doesn't mean you can't have a great physique. It doesn't mean you can't hit your fitness goals. Of course you can. So there's other ways to do things. This is just the way that I do things, and that Opio has me do things. But I'm waffling now, and I don't want this to drag on too much longer. This will be the longest video I've done. I knew it would be. I'm trying to keep it under half an hour is the goal, but it is what it is. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, there's some things I'm keeping from you guys in terms of nutrition that if I get 100 likes, then you can have it. If not, I'll keep it to myself and I'll keep growing and I'll keep getting great pumps and you can just keep liking my stuff on Instagram and YouTube. But if you want to know and if you want some insight into something that might help you level up a little bit, just through changing your diet. That's it. Just through changing some certain things in your diet, implementing certain things in your diet that may be more effective. Then yeah, just run up this video, share it, comment, like, all that stuff. Follow me on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I post every day. Not really pushing TikTok, but yeah, I'm on there. So feel free to follow if you want to follow. Instagram, I've been on there for years. YouTube, just yeah, like I say, share my videos the best you can. I post every day between short and long form videos. I post every day. So you'll always see something on here that's helpful, inspirational, motivational, whatever. I'm always active on YouTube. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see. Let me know if you have any content ideas for me that you think you're interested in knowing about me or seeing me do, and I'll do them. I'll do them potentially, depending on what they are. I'll try to do them. But yeah, thank you for watching again, and see you guys next time.